Is my window too loud?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I
all
just
good.
didn't want to melt in here.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Hi, it's Katie Harris, owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs, and I am here with Chantel Line, who is from Seaflora. Very, very excited to bring this webinar to you guys. So, Chantel, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself and what we're going to be talking about today?
Sure. Since learning about seaweed over the last 8 years of working with Seaflora Skincare, I've just learned so much about the health benefits. And where I come from, which is near Detroit, but in Canada, I didn't know anything about seaweed. All I knew is that I really loved going to the ocean on vacation, and that if I was going to live in a little oceanside town, I was probably going to have a lot of money needed to buy that real estate. Since then, I've read a book called Blue Mind, and it actually discusses scientifically why people are so much happier, healthier, and wealthier and function better when they live close to the ocean. But even like looking at the ocean can improve your mood. And now I know a lot of the science behind why, and I'm excited to share it with you.
That's interesting that you say this in a little segue, but I'd moved down to Mexico, and my parents were like, "You don't even like the beach." I'm like, I could count on one hand how many times I actually went to the beach or in the water, and I was oceanfront. But I'm like, I just like the ocean sound. Like I just like looking at and I literally sat there for like 8 hours a day during COVID watching the ocean. It was amazing, and doing my work.
So you said listening to the ocean.
Yeah.
We have a left and right brain hemisphere, and our language actually utilizes more of one side than the other, and our daily life utilizes more of one side than the other, which can lead to an in sync. You're not in sync anymore. So the natural ocean waves, listening to it, is a natural hemisync.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It syncs the left and right brain hemisphere and actually makes you feel better in your mind and overall. So it's nice.
Definitely did. All right. Well, I'm really excited to hear this. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. It's asking me, would like to record this computer screen and audio.
Oh, do you have audio features that you need to share? If not, then you can skip it.
I can skip it? Okay, good.
It's when some people try to share video, it doesn't work unless you hit that.
Okay. How's this looking?
It looks good.
Okay. So it's not letting me have all of it. Sorry. I tried to get really ready for this too.
What part are you missing?
The first page. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's not letting me. Okay. Neither here nor there. So Seaflora has tapped into the treasure trove of holistic remedies that Seaflora offers by using seaweed as the main ingredient in our skincare. So Vancouver Island is a really special place. We like to say Vancouver Island is a gift wrapped in seaweed. And the reason we say that is because there's about 600 species along our coastline up to Alaska, and that boasts more variety than anywhere else in the world. So we start with having a lot of variety and also having some of the cleanest waters in the ocean, and it's very cold here. Seaweeds like the cold water, and they really like the cleanliness, although seaweed is an eco-engineer and can really help to swiftly clean up any kind of dirty water. It's great that these waters are so clean because we know that the seaweeds aren't absorbing anything or holding on to anything that maybe it shouldn't. So we're going to talk about seaweed, why topical application can actually be so beneficial, let alone eating it. We hand harvest sustainably 9 species of seaweed. So we call it the Seaflora 9. Dad was a marine biologist for the British Columbia government, and Mom is a 3rd-generation seaweed harvester from the Magdalena Islands. And she decided that she was ready to retire, so Adam and I took over. We wanted to keep sharing the values that Mom instilled in us of sustainable harvesting, Basically, we give the seaweed little haircuts, is how we like to describe it. And it's the main ingredient in every formula in place of water or oil or aloe vera, which is what most skincare uses as the main ingredient. You can take any product off your shelf and look at it, and the main ingredient is going to be one of those three things because they're cheap, readily available, and these companies are focused on profits. They're profit driven. When Adam and I took over, we decided that we wanted to have a different idea of what wealth actually looks like. So we only incorporate food grade and certified organic ingredients. And doing so, we actually had the municipality come in and check us out, and they have designated us as a bakery. So that's two ways that Seaflora stands out in the skincare industry, is that we're designated as a bakery. We also locally hand harvest the seaweed steps from where we manufacture. So it's pretty amazing what we're doing. We don't stop there. We also hand harvest the sea mud, which is full of great little minerals, trace elements. And we also hand harvest the sea salts ourselves. So we designed Seaflora around the notion of going to the ocean for good health. It's called thalassotherapy. Thalasso means ocean in Greek. So our three main ingredients, seaweed, sea mud, and sea salts, are all sustainably hand harvested right here in Souk. And there's three seaweed families. You've got your brown, you've got your reds, and you've got your greens. What really sets them apart is the color. The nutritional content is very similar. However, I would say that the brown algae have more B complex vitamins. The red algae have more proteins, so they're better for collagen building. And the green algae have the highest amounts of chlorophyll in them, which makes them the best for detoxification. They're also the highest in vitamin A, making them a great retinol A replacement. So these kelp forests here are doing more for us than the actual forests that are on land. Actually, they produce 100 times more oxygen than the forests. They also can help to sequester carbon by falling, when they die, falling to the bottom of the ocean, and they can trap carbon there for thousands of years. So what the seaweeds actually can do is amazing. If we had about 7% of the ocean filled with healthy kelp forests, we wouldn't have a carbon issue anymore. So these seaweeds are really powerful in doing so much for the world, and the world doesn't even know. So with all of these rainforests that they're tearing down and all of these fires that we're dealing with every year, we know that there's still hope for us and for our oxygen, because the kelp is already doing so much to help us, which is a beautiful thing. Oceanwise put together a great little diagram that I wanted to show. And you guys can have a copy of this presentation when I'm done. But if you look here, you'll see that at the bottom, that there's no root system. You can see these little things called holdfasts, and I brought one to show you. Can you all see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, so this is a little bit of uva lactuca, and it's holding on to a rock, just like that. So they don't have a root system. They're actually absorbing the nutrition right from the ocean. And
Wow.
What's so amazing about that is that they don't have to rely on soil to get all the vitamins and minerals. What they rely on is the minerals and whatnot in the ocean. So all life comes from the ocean, and we have this beautiful flowing chemistry with the ocean. Your embryonic fluid, your blood, your sweat, your tears, your blood plasma is actually less than one molecule different from ocean water. So you can actually put your white blood cells into the ocean, and they'll perform normally for literally up to 6 weeks. They will not know anything different. They won't know what's going on. They'll just think they're happy, healthy, and they'll just keep performing normally. So another thing that seaweeds have in common with us is that for 9 months out of the year, the seaweeds grow in primordial waters. So in my research, what I have found is that most, if not all, ailments stem from a nutritional deficiency. So including seaweed in your diet or applying topically can do so much for us. One of the biggest problems that we're seeing, I think we can all agree, is insulin resistance. Insulin resistance leads to diabetes and so many other problems. But when you're eating seaweed, it actually is a soluble fiber and a prebiotic. So what can happen is that it can help to regulate your blood glucose levels. It can help clean your digestive tract. And it can also help lower and modulate your glucose levels. So it's just doing so much for your body just in eating it alone and in your digestive tract, let alone when your body absorbs the nutrients and then utilizes them. So great stuff going on in seaweed with the soluble fiber, polyphenols, and other bioactive compounds such as polysaccharides, fucoidins, and alginates. If you've ever touched seaweed, and I did bring some to show you, here I have a beautiful bull kelp.
Oh my God, is that one piece of seaweed?
That's one piece, yeah.
Wow.
So this is the stipe, and the stipe would be connected and could be hundreds of feet, and connected to like a rock or a piece of wood. And then this is the nematicus, and it's full of nitrogen, which keeps it floating at the top. So this is really delicious if you pickle it. If you're not into the taste of seaweed, you can just slice this up, pickle it, and it's delicious. But with seafloral, we really want it to be sustainable. So when we harvest, we actually go 6 to 12 inches from the nematicus, and we'll chop right about here and just give it a little haircut. And then all of these fronds grow up to 2 feet a day, making it the most sustainable organism in the world. So these grow up to 2 feet a day, which is why we just give them little haircuts. And you'll notice some color changes happening on them. And what's happening is the squares are coming because they're going to spore. They spore like mycelium. And you can see the little gelatinous goopiness on it. That gelatinous goopiness, can you see it or no?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So that gelatinous goopiness is the alginates. And the alginates are really what you're after when it comes to seaweed, because they're just doing so much amazing stuff in your body. I brought more seaweeds to show you. Just give me a sec here. So that was Nereocystis. We use that one the most. Oops. And then the other species we use is rockweed. And the rockweed has these little pods, and these pods fill up with the alginates, and you can burst them open and use them like a serum or a sunscreen. This one is unique to the area. It's called Mazziella, and in the water, it has this iridescent shimmer on it. It's very strong. It's full of marine collagen and full proteins, full chain amino acids. And then this is our Pacific dulse, which is delicious when you fry it in butter. Yeah, it's really good. And then if you're a sushi lover and you think that you're eating nori, I bet your nori doesn't look like this, which is what real nori should look like. It's transparent almost, and it's very thin. You can see my hand behind it.
Uh-huh.
And it's very strong, and it has the highest amount of mycosporin-like amino acids. Now, the reason that your sushi seaweed doesn't look like this is because they have to put fillers and binders and all kinds of other stuff in it. I wish I could pass these bowls around and let you see them.
I know, I want to touch them.
This is another really fast grower, and this is called Alaria. Alaria is a beautiful winged kelp, and it has one rib, which is what you how you know that it's Alaria. It's the one-ribbed kelp. And you can see and find up to 5 ribs. The one that's smooth is called laminaria, or also known as kombu. So if you've ever drank kombucha, it should be kombu cha, which is tea, kombu tea. But in North America, for some reason, we've taken the seaweed out of the kombu, or out of the kombucha, taken the kombu out of the kombucha. And I don't know why we do that in North America. But it seems that we all need a lot more seaweed education because this organism is so amazing. This one is Hedophyllum. And we spent 4 years with the National Research Council of Canada researching this specific seaweed and its ability to inhibit the enzyme tyrosinase, which is what causes melanin. Melanin is your hyperpigmentation. So seaweeds just do so much more than just lowering your blood glucose levels.
I didn't even know it did that.
Yeah, it's amazing what seaweed can do, actually. Okay. So I just want to scroll a little bit, and it's not making it easy. Here we go. Can I scroll a little more? Oh, come on. Just do what I ask. Computers are great when they work.
Exactly.
Why? Maybe if I go this way? Okay. And then can I scroll up? Okay. I stopped sharing for a second to see if I can fix it.
Is it the document or is it the? Well, just from what you've said so far, one, like I had no idea. I really need to remarket this webinar because it's. I thought we were talking about skincare, but all this stuff is amazing, and I know we're getting to skincare, but
we will get to skincare.
I know, but there's so many other amazing things about seaweed and what you said about the ocean, and oh my God, like I want to hear more. Get that document back up.
Okay, so you've got the prebiotic effect, right? And that is important to talk about because we're more bacteria than we are human cells. So this is really important because a lot of what's going on, like they've just realized that eczema has to do with our bacteria, and you know what's missing, and then schizophrenic people, it's also having to do with bacteria. So the bacteria and our microbiome have so much to do with our mental health and with our skin health. I like to say that our skin is a report card of how good our internal systems are doing. And I think it's really a logical thing when you start putting all this together. So if we can eat seaweed and help promote the good bacteria, then after we take an antibiotic, eating seaweed can help us because an antibiotic is going to kill all the bacteria, right? Or at least try to kill it. And we have good bacteria and bad bacteria. And I don't think we talk about this enough. So instead of using a hand sanitizer, right, that's just going to kill everything, it may be more beneficial to use something that's a probiotic. And I'm looking more and more into this. So also, if you look at the HDL in your cholesterol, eating seaweed can help balance your cholesterol levels and improve your cholesterol levels. So there's so many great reasons to be eating seaweed. Up here, I have a before and after picture of a girl who had one facial at Black Rock Resort, just one facial. And it's actually really noticeable how much the redness is calmed, especially on the one cheek and the chin, but how much the redness is calmed just from one facial.
Are you able to zoom in on this a little bit, or is that where you had problems?
That's where I was having problems, but okay. Can you see the full thing there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can see her full before and after there.
Uh-huh. On the media.
Yeah, on the media, on the
right.
I don't know if you can see my entire page, so. Okay, so again, you can get a copy of this. I'll send it to you, no problem. So I started looking at, well, how does topical application of seaweed differ, and what benefits might it have, if any? So my biochemist and I decided we were going to get a mineral test done. If you've ever had a mineral test, they take hair from near your scalp as close as they can, just few millimeters of your hair, the closest to your scalp, and they trim it. So you lose your big strands, and they just take the tiny bit near your scalp, and you send it off in a little envelope. And then they do a test of what your minerals are looking like. I put wild sea kelp body lotion head to toe, so did my biochemist, every day for 3 months. And then we got our mineral test done again. Not only did we notice that we had less heavy metals, we also had more balanced minerals, and we had no more deficiencies in certain minerals that we were deficient in before, namely magnesium and iodine, which, as you can see, is the next slide. And I thought, well, why? How does this work? Magnesium prefers to be topically applied and absorbed through the dermal layers.
Huh.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Then I found out that most transdermal patches use that alginate, that sliminess from the seaweed, as the delivery system for those drugs, like your nicotine patches, your hormone patches. They're using seaweed as the delivery system. So I know that if you're using Sea Flora, it's building a delivery system right to your bloodstream. So that's why it's so important in our products, especially for me to be able to sleep at night, is that there's only certified organic and or food grade ingredients, because if you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. It's really that simple. And I think everybody, if they live by that, they would be choosing healthier products. There's really great third-party apps like the Yuka app or Think Dirty, where you can scan the barcodes of products and find out how healthy they are. This is a universal product code. So most of the universal product codes are in those apps, and they'll tell you just how clean or dirty the ingredients in that product are. Every Sea Flora product scores 100 out of 100. I'm very happy to tell you that.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking about enhanced bioavailability, and then vitamins, like vitamin D, is actually a fat-soluble vitamin, and there's lots of them that are actually fat-soluble, vitamin E, etc. And then also the sustained release. So the fact that they're absorbing over time is also great for you and great for your skin. Iodine. Why are so many people iodine deficient? Well, they've taken the iodine out of a lot of the salt, right? So there's that. And most, things that you're eating don't have iodine. You need to eat a lot of like shellfish and, seafood that has the iodine. Well, you can just do 5 grams a day of wet weight. Thank you, Katie. Of wet weight of seaweed, and you can get all the iodine that you need. And if you don't have good, healthy iodine, it kind of leaves a gap for not so good iodine or radioactive things to be getting into your thyroid and taking the place of. So you want to make sure that you're always full of really good iodine to protect your body. Iodine's important for thyroid function, energy regulation, cognitive health, skin health, and more, and so much more. So if you have too much iodine, it can also be bad, because you can get hyperthyroidism, hyperthyroidism. And if you don't have enough, well, you can get sluggish in your thyroid, and that can lead to weight gain and whatnot. And none of us want weight gain. I think we're all having a hard enough time with all the things in our food and what's happening with the grocery and the big food. And, so eating really healthy food is important. But what about like your multivitamins? Most of your multivitamins and mineral supplements are actually using a petroleum base. Well, petroleum base is going to stop your body from absorbing it. So what's the point? You're just going to pee them out, and they're expensive. So if you could just eat a little seaweed every day and get your multivitamin and mineral supplementation, why not? It's a great natural alternative. And if you can just apply some amazing seaweed-rich skincare, even better. Of course, you won't absorb everything topically. I'm really just focused on, there's a couple things that prefer to be absorbed topically. Something that you can do to find out if you're iodine deficient is you can use like Lugo solution. iodine and put some on your inner arm right here. And then wait and see how long it takes to absorb. If it absorbs in just 2 to 3 hours, you're iodine deficient. Your body sucked it right in. It should last for about 12 hours. You should be able to see the yellow stain for about 12 hours. And then you know that your iodine is pretty optimal. So it's a really easy test that you can do anytime. So iodine is also really important for your hormones too. Magnesium. Wow. Magnesium is responsible for 600 to 800 processes that happen inside your body. Really that much. Pretty much your body needs magnesium as much as it needs vitamin C. Like every cell in your body needs it for energy production, muscle and nerve function, bone health, stress reduction. I find that if I can't sleep, I'll spray my feet with mineral magnesium oil, which I make myself, but just some magnesium spray, and then I sleep like a baby. So if I haven't head to toed enough seaflora because I'm on vacation and I didn't want to bring my big bottle, I'll bring just a small little 30 mil of the magnesium spray I make and just spray my feet or just spray it on my skin. And it makes a world of difference. I really notice when I'm magnesium deficient. So if you want healthy bones, magnesium. You want to sleep better, magnesium. You want to be in a better mood more often, magnesium and vitamin D and K2. I mean, like I'm starting to learn all these little tricks. As soon as I actually start to feel a little bit not so chipper, I start on the vitamin D and the K2. So there's things that I've learned, and it's all from learning about seaweed. So seaweed has really enhanced my health overall. And as a 2-time cancer survivor, it's really important to me. Now, although all the seaweeds are full of nutrition and stuff, I've spent the time to make this for you. I made this especially for you guys because you're nurses. And I just thought if I could tell you what I would consider the best seaweed for these common health concerns, this really might help you. If you just want to take a screenshot or you want to use this later, it's definitely a great little chart I've made. If you know who Dr. Sebi is, which I hope you do, he's the one that made sea moss so popular. What Dr. Sebi learned really early on is that seaweed is definitely censored on the internet. Why is it censored? Well, for one, algorithms rule the world, and it has weed in it, which globally is not legalized. So I can understand that. But then the other thing is that it's so damn good for us. Seaweed can do so many things that would eliminate the need for many Western medicines. You got thyroid problems, you've got cancer cells, you've got metabolic needs, iron deficiency, you've got glucose problems, insulin issues, you've got heavy metals. Here you go. Just eat a little seaweed every day and cover your skin in it, and you're going to be doing so many great things for your body. Can it do everything? I don't know, but it's pretty darn close. I mean, if you can think of anything else and you want to know, I'll do the research for you. Just hit me up on an email, chantel@seafloraskincare.com, or if you can't remember how to spell my name, info@ comes to me as well. Talk to me. I'm always willing to do more research because then I can write a blog about it. So there's things that I've seen some of the indigenous people around here do, which is they break these pods and then they slather their skin with it. And I couldn't understand why. But I did some research and found out that seaweeds are a natural sunscreen because they have mycosporin-like amino acids. Think about it like this, okay? The tide goes out. It's out for 8 to 12 hours sometimes. Those seaweeds bake in the sun, their little root system and all, just bakes in the sun. Sometimes they get to a crisp. The water comes back and they keep growing and living. How? Well, they've got these natural sun shields called mycosporin-like amino acids. So when I did my research, I realized that they can offer natural sun protection for organisms like us that don't produce them naturally. So you can shield things in a seaweed, I want to call it a seaweed paste, to make covers for your painted frames for your, like your signage. You could literally coat it in a special type of alginate paste that they make now. Many sunscreens are being based on this. Ours is. But you don't really need that. You don't need to even make it into a sunscreen. You can literally, like I said, just break the pods or use the alginate and just slather your skin in it. So wild sea kelp body lotion, seaweed body gel, the products that we have that have up to 80% seaweed content are already a natural sunscreen. And I'll give you an anecdotal experience. I went to a beautiful island called Savory Island, and my girlfriend Estelle was using that toxic sunscreen that so many people love to slather themselves in. I used our seaweed body gel, and I did my shoulders and my arms, and we were on the beach for hours with no sun protection except what we had on our skin. And we were in the ocean and doing our thing. And the next day, I had to carry Estelle's backpack because her shoulders were so burnt and mine were not. A lot of people call seaweed body gel liquid gold because after they have a sunburn, a lot of people apply it and then their skin doesn't peel. It doesn't turn into a burn. It'll go nice and brown, which is something that you can do with sunscreen as well. It'll help to mitigate the sun damage. But seaweed body gel just does such a better job because it's full of such great nutrients that it goes to town, doing a whole bunch of great things for your skin, from getting rid of free radical damage to the antioxidants that are just there to help heal the skin, and the polysaccharides that act like a second skin. And man, it's amazing. So I don't really worry about any kind of sun protection. I haven't worn any in 7 years after learning about this. But what else does it do? Well, rosacea, definitely a nutritional deficiency because it starts with low stomach acid. In my research, that's what I have found. Low stomach acid, which leads to lower absorption of minerals, and also 75% of people with rosacea test positive for H. pylori bacteria. And I'm sure you know what that is. H. pylori is very damaging to our guts and can lead to really, really bad health overall. So again, it comes back to that bacteria, right? You want to feed the good bacteria and kill the bad bacteria. So seaweed is great for rosacea. It's great for acne, eczema, psoriasis, anti-aging. So no matter what your skin concern is, seaweed is the natural solution. Mazziella, that one seaweed I showed you, this guy, which is unique to our area and our coastline, isn't found anywhere else in the world. They don't even have it in Japan. We went to the Wando Seaweed Expo in 2014, and we had 9th generation Japanese seaweed harvesters coming up to our table and saying, "What is this? What is this? We've never seen this. It's so strong. What is this?" Doing my research on Mazziella, it's being studied for acne vulgaris. So we have actually gotten people off of Diane 35, off Accutane, and other super harmful medications that are destroying the liver. You don't have to do that. There are natural solutions like seaweed that can do the work for you and actually have pro-health benefits rather than damaging side effects. Eczema. Eczema definitely, I believe, comes down to bacteria issues and your microbiome health. However, when you have these beautiful alginates on your skin, you'll notice right away there's a soothing and cooling sensation. So if you've ever had eczema, it can burn and itch, and it just is, you suffer. You suffer when you have eczema and psoriasis. I don't know how better to say it. So right away, the seaweed is going to start acting like a second skin, giving you tons of hydration and start repairing the skin barrier. So it's an inside job. You definitely need to do other things because you need to get at the root of the problem. Same with psoriasis. However, it brings so much relief and so much help to the people that are suffering. it's great to share Seaflora with these people. And please don't take my word for it. Please go on Google, look at our almost 400 reviews with our 4.9 rating, and you can look in the reviews for eczema, psoriasis. And I'm telling you, there's testimonial after testimonial. Don't trust me. I'm the sales and marketing manager. Don't trust me. Trust the science and trust the reviews and what other people have to say. So when we're talking about aging, I like to think about it like this. When the dirt is cleared and the clutter is gone, your systems just naturally work better. So when you can clear out all the crap and let your skin actually do what it's supposed to do, and you give it everything it needs to be optimally healthy, I mean, that's going to slow down the aging process. It's just naturally going to do that. I'm 45 years old. I don't do any of the Botox or any of that crap. I won't touch it. I've never used filler or anything like that. I don't do microneedling, nothing. I don't do anything. I use Seaflora, and I'm very confident about my skin and how youthful I look at 45. I also just have to look at my friends that are my age and go, what are you using? It's not Seaflora. I can literally point out Seaflora skin. True story. And it happens sometimes. And people go, how did you know? So no matter what's trending in skincare, which there's always something trending, right? Collagen, peptides, which are pretty much the same thing. You want to talk about brightening. You want to talk about the best acne solutions, whatever it is. Whatever is trending, Seaweed offers it. Seaweed has its own hyaluronic acid. Seaweed has tons of marine collagen. We use a lot of the red algae, so you're going to get great collagen building proteins. Hydration, natural humectants that lock in moisture in the cells. Skin brightening, as I talked about, these seaweeds actually naturally suppress the enzyme called tyrosinase, which creates hyperpigmentation. Full of also tons of antioxidants such as vitamin C. Detoxification. Seaweed loves to draw out all the crap from your skin. I used to wear a lot of makeup years ago. I wore a lot of makeup, and it was because I had bad skin. I had cystic acne around here, which, as you can see, is no longer there. Most of the scars on my face are gone. I don't really have hyperpigmentation problems, except I do hike a lot, and I don't use the sunscreen, but I do have Seaflora on my face. So I am starting to get a little bit here. So I got to really make sure that I'm focused on that and taking care of it, right? So as my skin starts to show the report card, I know there's things I got to do to keep it nice and beautiful. So let's say you're going to use a magnesium spray like I do, right? Well, Seaweed has all the cofactors needed. Or say somebody wants to use a vitamin C serum. Well, vitamin C also needs cofactors to work. So what's great about using Seaweed is that it has all those cofactors. It's not only going to offer 600 times more vitamin C than an orange, or 1,000 times more iodine than a pickle, per se, you know. Seaweeds offer up to 1,000 times more vitamins and minerals than any fruit, vegetable, or herb. So you're getting much more from this organism than you would from any land plant. And it's more sustainable. So even more reasons to use it. But the cofactors. So let's say, like I said, the magnesium spray. Well, magnesium also needs vitamin D. It needs K2. It needs calcium, potassium, zinc, manganese, right? Where are you going to get all these things? You need them together so that they can all work together to do their job. They don't just work independently as one thing. So it's really important to think about that. Another thing to think about is, like, let's say you're going to use a hyaluronic acid rich product. Well, your skin should be damp when you apply it, because the hyaluronic acid is going to absorb all of the hydration that you have in your skin. So if you put hyaluronic acid on and your skin is completely bone dry, you might notice that your skin actually ends up looking worse than it did before because you didn't have the hydration. It's the same kind of thing. You know, things don't work independently. They work as a group usually. So it's smart to think about these things and why Seaweed gives it a leg up. And as I keep saying, it's the natural remedy for all skin conditions. You can find us in places like Pebble Beach Spa. I'm not sure if they still carry us, but they did for years. The Wiccan-Inish, the Sioux Harbor House Resort, like these huge prestigious resorts in North America have carried Seaflora for decades because they trust us to deliver visible results. If you've heard of La Mer, they're probably the most world famous seaweed skincare brand, and they're wonderful. La Mer is great. I have no problem with them. I have problems with the ingredients they put in their formulas, and that's about it. Oh, yeah, I have problems with how much they charge too. Yeah, so those would be my two problems. The poisons they add, and then the price that they charge. So Seaflora, in my opinion, is better because there's only food grade and certified organic ingredients. So you're not doing anything to diminish the nutrients and nutritional benefits. And then I think we're very cost effective. So the spas love us and they'll choose us over companies like La Mer time and time again because they're going to get better results at a better price with none of the health concerns. So, you know, cancer is rampant right now. I think we can all agree on that. And as a two-time cancer survivor, I learned a long time ago not to put it on my skin if I can't eat it. So instead of coming up with natural solutions in my home that I'm not too sure about, this is a great way to offer something that you can stand behind that is super effective, but you feel good about sharing. Nobody knows enough about seaweed. So the more we can educate people on seaweed, I think it's really important, which is why I wanted to do this webinar with you. So I really hope you get a lot out of it. And again, if you have questions, please come to me. I'm so keen on helping you learn more about seaweed, the ins and outs, the unique bioactives, and just why it's so amazing, and why we've been trusted by spas for so long. Actually, not just spas, we're winning awards like crazy because things like this. We have a menstrual sponge. So in college, I got toxic shock syndrome. And I realized that it wasn't my blood that's toxic, it's the tampons. So coming out with something like this was a great idea. And then I didn't realize there was going to be so much industry backlash until I watched Seinfeld. If you've ever seen the TV show Seinfeld, there's one where Elaine is talking about, is he sponge worthy? So sponges were quite popular on the market for a long time. And you might be as old as I am or older and remember this. But sponges, they were a big deal. They were taken off the market in the late 90s. And the reason they were taken off is because they're actually good for you, I believe. But why not? It's just minerals. That could get lost inside of you for 3 days and you're not going to get rushed to the hospital and die. So having these safe alternatives is really, really important. And I think the industry is trying to award us really and accolade us for what we're trying to accomplish here. So
I'm sorry, is that contraception or is it for you're having your period and it
your period?
Okay.
Yeah, in place of tampons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a great, here, I can open it up and show you too. You just wet it. It's small. You just wet it, squeeze it, stuff it in, and Bob's your uncle. So when you go to the, go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard somebody asking something, but
no, go ahead.
Okay, when you're done, you know, rinsing it and putting it back in, and you're done your flow, then you would boil it for just a minute and let it dry, and then it's good for you.
You keep it? You don't throw it out?
It's totally up to you.
I mean, all the money I spent on tampons for the last 40 years.
Right? Tampons that are sprayed with things that make you infertile.
Yep.
That are full of PFSAs. I don't know. Yeah, so we're trying to do things different. When we actually went to the market to try and find seaweed, this is what they sent us. It's a bleach dried powdered extract. I would call it crap. It's crap. That's not seaweed. So our bases are real, wild, raw, organic seaweed, and they look more like this. We use the whole fiber. We want all the unique bioactives, and we want to keep it biologically active so that it stays a prebiotic as well. So that's why it's so effective. So if you've tried a seaweed skincare, water is probably the main ingredient, and this is probably what they're using as a marketing ingredient. And that's what I'm going to call it. They use it as a marketing ingredient. This, no one else is doing this. Nobody. So it's really, really, really unique. And that's why it's so effective. And good reasons for you to sell Seaflora is because this year alone, we've won 7 awards. This year alone. We're in line for 4 more. So we'll see what happens. It could end up being the biggest award year ever for us. Since Adam and I took over in 2017, we've won 20 awards since then. And the reason is because first thing we did was take out any unnecessary ingredients. We then just started really pushing it to consumer. So when COVID happened, we lost, because we were big in spas, we lost 99% of our B2B. And I thought, wow, we're not going to go out of business. Let's figure out how to use this to our advantage and grow. So we've quadrupled in size since COVID. And the reason is because people are getting to try our products for free. I made these little sample routines. So everyone on this webinar can go to our website, and at the very top, you can get a free sample routine, which has 7 products in it for you to try so that you can get a good idea of how much you might like the products. And you don't have to buy a whole bunch and have people try it. You can use us for that portion. And then from there, you can work with Katie to become an affiliate and go from there. So we do have a great affiliate program built for you guys that is multi-level, with Katie being the captain. So we can talk about this more in a minute, but there's a lot of good reasons to sell Seaflora. It's unique. It works. It's so freaking beneficial for our health. Like I said, the mineral test I did, I have the scientific backing and the anecdotal experience that I can show you myself. You can also do those same kind of mineral tests yourself if you're skeptical. We have a 4.9 on Google with almost 400 reviews. I would say that's unheard of. We're designated as a bakery by the municipality. Our main ingredients are harvested steps from where we harvest. We're amazing. Like, Seaflora is doing some really cool stuff that I'm super happy to be a part of. When Adam and I took over, we decided that I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, so I'm a little, I think different. I have a lot of money. I did. Anyway, I had a lot of money, and I thought I was going to move here and retire. That's not what happened. I moved here and realized that not only had I fallen in love with Seaflora, I had fallen in love with one of the owner's son. And so when we came, he asked me, will you come out of semi-retirement and actually come and work with me and take over the business? I asked him why. Why do you want this business? He said, I want it because I want to continue the values. Oh, I'm going to cry. I want to continue the values that I was brought up with. And because Seaflora is so unique. And I said, well, I've had a marketing business where it was all about money and it didn't make me happy. So what are we going to do different to motivate me to be passionate about this other than how great the products are? And he said, well, what if we quantify wealth differently? And I said, what does that look like? And he said, well, what's real wealth to you? I said, being able to look at myself and love me. So, okay, what about other people? Do you want to get along with other people? Well, yeah, I don't want to be trying to sell people snake oil and then, not feeling good about it after, or selling them things they don't need. Okay. So we decided that we were going to donate money, a portion of each purchase, to real nonprofits here on the island doing real work to conserve our beautiful landscape here. So a portion of each purchase is given to the Ancient Forest Alliance, the Souk Salmon Enhancement Society, and the Georgia Strait Alliance. So basically it comes down to this. We quantify our wealth by the quality of our relationships with self, with others, and with our environment. And if you can get behind that, we want you to be on our team. We offer an amazing affiliate program that gives you an impressive 20% commission on sales. And if it's multi-level, that will be a little different, and we'll have to go through those numbers, Katie and I, and then we'll explain it to you, or she will, from there. But you know, we're trying to do our best to make sure that we're paying well for people who want to help us spread the word. This whole business is backed by mom and dad's mortgage. So the house is literally financing everything we're doing here. There's no big investors, because the first thing they would want to do is make our products out of water. There's no banks backing us. There's no big brands like Dyson. No one's involved. The reason I mentioned Dyson is because 3 Ships is backed by Dyson and a few other companies. So there's nothing like that going on here. It's a family business, still run by the family, second generation. And we're just trying to do something really special in the world that isn't like other brands. So I hope that you really enjoyed this, and I'm ready to take any questions you might have.
That was amazing. I got interrupted for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, just you have to move on because I got to listen to this webinar. Yeah, this is really amazing. And for me, like, you know, I wanted to offer this to the nurses in our community because it's such a powerful thing for them to offer their clients. But also in my own business, which is the Philly Wellness Center, one of the reasons I've never offered skincare is, you know, for the reasons that you talked about. Like, most of it's toxic, and I use the EWG app, and it's, you know, I had one of the big skincare lines come in, and I'm pulling up all their stuff, and it's like a 9, meaning it's like carcinogenic, and, you know, all this stuff. And I was like, I mean, I can't, you know, the values of the company is to be eco-friendly, you know, research-based, and so I can't put like toxic skincare line in my clinic. Like, that just goes against everything that I'm saying that I am. So when I found you, yeah, like this not only with the skincare line, but the food line, the nutrients and the magnesium spray, like, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm so glad you enjoyed it, because I don't know if you could tell, I was a little nervous.
It was just awesome. It was really, really awesome. And if anybody has questions out there, you know, please share them and add into here. You know, in terms of getting set up in the affiliate, so you want to go to I made the link pretty simple. So tinyurl.com/cflora. And you'll be taken to a page where you can sign up as an affiliate so that you can sell Seaflora to your clients, to your customers, and make that 20% commission on everything that you sell. And this is one of the things that you can feel really good about selling, knowing that it's so wonderful. And I did get the cream, and I love it. Like, it makes a huge difference. You know, I just started using it, but it's wonderful. I love that product. So I can't do the 7 steps because I'm super lazy and roll 7 steps. But
Created something called the lazy routine, though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you can head to toe, like shampoo, body wash, everything with the detoxifying Fucus body wash.
Oh, really?
And then you can use the wild rockweed exfoliant on your face and body, and then follow with wild sea kelp body lotion head to toe. So, I mean, like, definitely there's really easy ways. I don't think you should need 7 products personally, but I'm lazy too. And the other cool thing is, like, my husband designed the boxes. He drew all these icons by hand.
Oh, wow.
So you've got on each box what the main ingredients are, with 1 to 3 words of what they do and why they're in it. But the full list is on the back. And then on the other side is like, oh, there we go, is like cruelty-free, vegan, gluten-free, if you want to know really quick. So the boxes kind of sell themselves, and then I had them printed in soy ink so that they're fully compostable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you know you can get on a rabbit hole with all this stuff, but it's like, why does everything have to be toxic? Like,
Well, if you start walking down, there's a guy. His handle's called Cancel This Clothing Company, and it started with clothing, and he was looking at what's in your yoga pants and stuff like that. And fast forward 2 years later, he has walked down all of the drugstore aisles, all of the grocery store aisles, and he's taken pictures of the aisles and the brands and then markered them with who owns them. And he's come to the realization that over 80% of the brands that you think you're selecting, they're all owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, JP Morgan, GE, you know? So they're all owned by these huge conglomerates like BlackRock and Vanguard, who usually are the two top owners of every brand. For us, we know that manufacturers, we call them the big six, and they make everything. They make the L'Oreal, they make the Eminence, they make the Dermalogica, they make, so all the brands that you think are all different, really there's only about 10% of each formula that's different. And then they market the difference of that 10%. So
based on brand. Yeah.
it's a joke to us, you know, it's like.
So you could spend $500 or $5 and pretty much get the same formula.
It's pretty close, you know, it's about 90% the same. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then in the manufacturing industry, they always leave a gap so that there's something else to sell you, or they add something that does something bad so that you get sold this too. So I like to think of it like this though, because it's logical to me. If you're a business, okay, like we sell skincare, but we also sell like menstrual sponges, and we sell brushes, dry brushes, and we sell, you know, these other little things. But would you ever sell anything in your business that didn't contribute to selling more of your main product? No, you wouldn't. You'd never sell anything that doesn't contribute. So think about a drugstore. Would a drugstore sell drugs? So would anything in there not contribute to their main seller? You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. Even the health section, like I said, is mostly a petroleum base in the health section. You know, the protein powders and these and that, some of them could be good, sure. But I would say it'd be an overall generalization to think about.
Yeah. And is that listed on their ingredients, or they don't have to?
They don't have to.
Okay.
No, they don't have to.
So you just have to assume that it's probably
a petroleum base. Yeah.
Petroleum based.
Yeah.
And then that prevents you from being able to absorb them.
That seems to be the trick that they're pulling with a lot of them. Yeah.
Interesting.
There are some good liquid vitamin and mineral supplements, but I don't think anything that compares to seaweed, you know.
And the seaweed, it has all the trace minerals that you need, but it doesn't have vitamins, right?
Vitamins, yeah.
Oh, it does have vitamins.
Like all the vitamins, like vitamin A1, A2, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B8, B12. It's got vitamin C, vitamin D1, D2, vitamin E. Vitamin F is your omegas. It's got the omegas.
Yeah, that's huge. I just had a conversation with some guy about this because he was thinking about fish oil. And I'm like, you don't want the fish oil. You want the algae that they eat or the seaweed that they eat, because that's what has the omegas in it. The fish doesn't have any omega. I'm like, and they make you gassy and bloated.
And that's because there's too much of one omega than the other, right?
Oh, okay.
It's more balanced, yeah.
Right.
So,
and I said, and they're depleting the ocean by catching all the fish for that. So you got to stop doing that. I'm like, but if seaweed has it, yeah. I mean, so you would take it with the powder form, correct?
I prefer the powder form because I honestly don't like the taste of seaweed. So powder form for me makes it easy. I can put it in my coffee. I can put it in my soup. I can put it over my salad, you know, and just put a little bit with each thing I eat or drink, and I'm not going to taste it too much. So
is it like tart?
Is it what?
Is it tart?
I don't think it's tart. It's well, umami. Umami is the seaweed taste, seaweed flavor. Umami is like oceany.
Ocean, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a big fan of fish either. So, but some people really like it. And if somebody's worried about shellfish allergy, which we get asked about a lot, our seaweeds are cleaned very well, so there's no shellfish left on it, no snails or anything like that. So it's kind of like a vegan saying, well, what about the rabbits that hop over the garden?
I hadn't thought about that. An animal touched my leaf.
Right?
Okay. I love it. Well, Chantel, thank you so much for sharing this with us today. This is amazing. I'm going to send this back out because people, you talked about so many things that people need to hear about. And I mean, this is just such an amazing opportunity to get in and sell this to your clients. Get it for yourself too. I mean, buy your own seaweed products and seaweed supplements, because I mean, this is way better than what's out there. So,
well, like I said too, please don't think you have to buy it and spend a lot of money. You get a free sample routine, free complimentary of us. And I'm just going to show you one thing here, just so that you can see. I can share this presentation with you too, so that you do have a reference for everything that's, can you see that?
Yep.
So all of the vitamins that are in it, I do have another presentation that has them all listed if you're interested.
Yeah. I actually, if you can just send this to me, I can send it out to everybody that signed up for the webinar so that they have it.
Absolutely. No problem. I'd love to do that.
Awesome. All right, Chantel. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys have a great day, and I really appreciate you attending.